Alright guys, back again for another review. Big Tom.
Damien.
Today we're going to be doing the KYlin, we like to call it the KYlin Monogulin.
The KYlin Monogulin. Yeah, this is a mechanical mod. It's kind of based, it's a clone of the Pisces T by J2P really. It rhymes, I'm a bit of a poet. And it's a telescopic mod. It takes a 18490, 18500 or an 18650 battery. But what's quite quirky about it is it's so small, it's pretty much like an 18350 mod, but takes those two types of batteries. Yeah, I mean, it's not a direct clone of the Pisces T. It has different engravings on it. Well, yeah, it's pretty much a fucking bang-on clone of the Pisces T. Just has a different logo on it. So ages ago I've tried to be a little bit ooh, and to get away with it. But yeah, it bangs. It's hard. I've had it for this week. It's hard. It's capable of taking a kick as well without any different tubes. It's telescopic and it does what it says on the tin. Yeah, I mean, it's quite cheap. It's you can get this from KYlin Vapes for $27.99. But I'm not a fan. For me, it does have silver-plated brass pins. It does have a reverse locking ring, and it's also got quite a nice button. It's just the actual steel. It feels cheap to me. It kind of feels like the KTS. It feels a bit like tin. But Tom's been using it for a week. Like he says, he hits quite hard. It's a 22mm, so your 22mm atties are going to fit nice and flush on it. It is small, it is dinky, and it is a good price. You know, for $27.99 for a mechanical mod. It does have two different configurations, and is as small as an 18350 mod in 18500. I suppose you could do a lot worse. It's just, for me, the feel of it is a bit cheap. It's a bit tinny, it's a bit thin, it's a bit fucking light. Yeah, it's a bit rugged as well on the ends. Like when you run your hand through it, you can actually feel the sharpness of the stainless steel itself. But you know. What? Sorry, I just got a really horrible picture then as Tom was masturbating with the KYlin Monogulin. Yeah, you can get these $27.99 from KYlin Vapes. Gary there's got these in with some of his new stock. Yeah, and I mean, it's for me. I'm not too keen on it. I don't mind it. Obviously, with the locking ring was brass plated when we got it. It's now stainless steel. Looks exactly the same. So when you do get it, it's going to be brass plated, but it does wear off. And also, it doesn't have a floating 510 connection. It's pretty much a fixed 510 connection, so you might have a few struggles with some of your atties, especially if you don't have adjustable 510s on your atties. What we'll do now is we'll go down to the table, I'll show you it in all its bits and pieces, and come back and give you our scores. Hey. So here you have your KYlin or your KYlin or your KYlin Monogulin, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It comes in these 5 parts here. You have your top cap, you have one of your extension tubes, you have your centre tube, you have your bottom button and another extension tube there. A top cap, you have a juice well, you have some airflow grooves cut into the top well like that, you have your Delrin insulator underneath, and your pin. Your pin is not adjustable, nor is it floating. It's basically just stuck there, so some atties you may have a struggle getting them to connect, but if you've got an adjustable 510 on your atomizer, then it's not a big deal. On your centre tube, you do have vent in there, you have 2 holes either side of what looks like possibly a bonsai tree. Not too sure what it is. It's either a bonsai tree or a dragon. Fuck knows, really. Also, you have a serial number and sort of like a fire engraved around the serial number on your bottom button. It does have a reverse locking ring. This did originally come with a brass colour, but after being used and just regular usage, the brass has sort of faded back to a stainless steel. Okay, so putting it together, you take your top cap and an extension tube there. Nice threads. It does thread quite nice. It does feel tinny. It does feel a bit cheap. But for £30, $27.99, you can't really complain. It does what it's supposed to and says what it does on the tin. You put your other extension tubes in. Put your battery in. And then attach your button. to get some rattle. Just tighten up at either end until you don't get any rattle anymore. Put your atomizer on the top. I'm using the Aspire Nautilus here. Danger, danger. And there we go. Should fire away nice. Nice and simple. A quick, easy mod. It takes 18500 and an 18650. Reverse locking ring. Nice button. You know, the button is quite quirky. I do like it. It's a nice push. It won't fire when you stand it up on its own, really, unless you've got a really heavy atomizer on the top. But yeah, there it is. Pretty simple device there. $27.99. Hits quite hard. It's got quite a low voltage drop. Yeah, and there you go. Bob's your uncle.
Alright guys, so after looking at the KYlin Mod up close, it's not the best looking mod, but hey, it's hard. You know, there's nothing wrong with it really. It's cheap, it's easy to get hold of. Damien doesn't like it, but what does he like?
Yeah, it's just not my sort of style of mod. I mean, I don't like the fact that you have to telescope it at either end. It's just much more simple if you have a telescopic that's just the bottom, like an Enzonic, like the 60 China or the 69 mod. I don't like the feel of it. It feels very cheap. And very, because it is, and very light, and to me I like a good sturdy heavy mod. The switch is nice, the button's really nice to push, and I do like the reverse locking ring, so even though it kind of fades, it's not brass.
Brass plated. Oops.
Yeah. And it doesn't have a floating 510 either, it's a fixed 510, so that could be an issue with some Atties. I mean, we haven't had any trouble putting like a KYlin on it or the Aspire Nautilus, but yeah, it's just not my cup of tea, it's for me personally. But once again, I do like the fact it's quite stealthy. I do like the fact it's the same size as an 18350 mod in 18500. It does have, you know, a couple of good things going for it, like the fact it's not too heavy, so if it is dropped on that, you're hardly going to damage it because it's got no weight to it, so you're not really going to get a thump when it hits the floor. But it just feels like a KTS to me, and I fucking despise a KTS. So yeah, I mean, scores on it.
Yeah, well, as we say about the voltage drop on it, there's minimal voltage drop on it, so it does hit hard on vape. Looking wise, it does look cheap. I'm still going to give it around about an 8 for looks. I don't really mind it, but it does look a bit cheap.
I'm going to give it a 5 on looks. I don't like it. It's not a mod for me, really, and the feel of it as well. It's kind of, it just feels cheap. The vape though is great. Like Tom says, it's got a cracking little voltage drop there. It's minimal voltage drop, which is ideal, you know, and it's all about the vape, isn't it, really, with a lot of people. It's a great price as well, $27.99, mechanical mod. Telescopics, you've got 2 battery configurations. It doesn't have an 18350 mode, but at the end of the day it will last longer throughout the day. You don't have to worry about changing your 18350 batteries twice, maybe 3 times a day. And it's small enough even in 18500 not to really give a shit.
Yeah.
The button's nice to push, I'll give it that. I like the reverse locking ring. However, the reverse locking ring did come and it was sort of brass coloured. After Tom's used it for a week, it's now stainless steel. So it's not brass, it's sort of brass plated or coloured. And yeah, I wish it did have a adjustable 510 connection.
Yeah, definitely.
And it is fixed into the Del ring at the top. So yeah, I mean, I'll give it a 5 for looks. For vape though, you can't knock it. It's got a great vape on it, so I'm going to give it a 9 for vape. And for that voltage drop, it's very impressive.
It's bang on. Yeah, I totally agree as well. The only really downside, as I was saying about, obviously you can actually feel the sharpness of the joints together. Threading's nice, there's no problem with threading. It is capable of taking a kick. So, you know, you can use it in any battery mode apart from your 350, so it's decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Not bad for the money, really, for $27.99. Yeah. It's a throwaway mod. It's a mod to sort of just get you through the day. If you want to take a mod out, if you've got a lot of high-end stuff and you don't really want to take them out for whatever reason, you're on the piss or whatever, you can take this out and not really have to worry too much about it. It is stealthy. And there you go. You can get these from www.carnovapes.co.uk. The website is above my fedora hat right now.
You do look really cool today.
Thank you. I'm feeling rather cool today. Maybe it's just because I'm putting it out there that I'm the fucking cool one.
Anyways.
Yeah. Maybe I'm trying a little bit too hard. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this review, and we will see you on the next one. Stay safe.